Okay, so anyway, we're now on part five. And so if you're watching this and this is the first of the series that you are seeing, stop the video now, look through my videos and see if you can find part one. Anyway, we're now dealing with the front hair. I was dealing with the back hair layer earlier on, and now I'm dealing with the front hair layer. So just for clarity's sake, I'm going to take all the other layers and just knock them back, except for the figure layer, just because I want to see the layer that I'm working on. And I want to see the hair shapes that I'm making in the front. So yeah, just dealing with, this is why I put in that hairline in there, because now I can think of pieces of hair. So yeah, the program that I'm using, in case you've missed it up until now, is Go to Hell. No, it's TVP Animation Pro. It's bitmap-based animation program. Bitmap-based meaning it's not vector-based like Flash, but more like, say, Photoshop, except that it can handle animation and large quantities of big pixels. And it is wonderful, a wonderful, wonderful program. Made in France, and I believe it's been around for over a decade, or maybe even more. It's been around for a while. And right now I'm just filling in. Right. So here, in the front, I think I'll just go for a really simple, I'll keep it simple, but this one little bang of hair, this whole time I've been, I can extend it, or this is the one thing that can go against the grain. So, I mean, if you want to have clothing that goes against the grain, like hair that goes out against the grain, then you can show, one piece of hair that goes out of it, that goes out and is kind of unruly. But keep it as little as possible, because if you want it, if everything is crazy, then nothing can be against the grain. That should be pretty obvious. It's like if you want to go against the grain, you need to establish a grain first. I'm actually trying to, I'm making this an asymmetrical haircut, because people's scalps are very asymmetrical. And I'm just continuing this one. See, from the background layer, there's this one, curve. I'm just continuing it up in there. And then I'm going to go in and slice in some extra detail. I can slice in detail like that, or I can do it in steps. And maybe it's not quite working out because I need to lock the transparency. I'm going to bring back my other layers so that they are opaque again. And then, I can start putting in cuts. So sometimes, if you're having trouble where one layer is not quite reading against another, then it's time to start throwing in additional layers to help separate. When I draw my hair shapes, I treat it like a curling page, right? So I'm basically curling up the hair now. So as you can see, the hair is now curling up. I'm going to trim that away, put that bit back. Okay, one thing that I'm not liking is the fact that I've got triangle, 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 and they're all the same shape. And they're all the same curvature. So I'm going to unify all of this by just cutting that down, turning it into one giant strip like that. So it's like one curled strip. And then I will add variety by cutting it up with a pattern. So I will divide it in thirds. So there's 2/3 one side, 1/3 on the other side. So as you can see, it's like to get variety into things, you actually have to think about the patterns. It is not random. Use patterns for variety, not randomness. Now I'm taking layers from the front and I'm curving it in front. I'm going to take some of these, I'm going to split in there. Maybe I'll treat it as another strip right there. And then finally, I'm going to get a little more curvature on that one. So every piece of hair, even though I'm working with solid shapes, they are very three-dimensional. So it helps if you have done all of your other exercises and you've practiced with drawing three-dimensional shapes, because you can see how I can greatly distill a design down to basic shapes, but while still maintaining a sense of perspective and form. So they are like little curling strips. And maybe I'll do a little bit on the other side. I don't know. I think I'll have to change the direction of it. I have to make it so that, again, I'm going for the asymmetrical look. So I got to take that pink color. I got to curl them in the same direction. So as you can see, I'm laying them down piece by piece, but building off of a much larger structure. And I don't want everything same, but rather I prefer to have a descending trend or an ascending trend. So I'm going to introduce that trend in there right now. I'm going to make this one less. Well, maybe that one can be larger, but overall I want them, you know, decreasing less and less. Or maybe just like that, a little bit there. Then this one can be there. Plus I'm seeing triangle, 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 you know, again, I'm going to turn that one into a strip. Turn this one into a strip. And in fact, I'm going to cut them all the same size so it looks like one large strip that has been chopped up. Here I'm seeing it's looking kind of messy and hacked up. So I'm going to fix that now. I fix those chaotic parts by turning them into larger pieces. I take the large stuff and then I cut it up. As you can see, it's the same process all the way through. It is not like I do many, many different things. I'm essentially doing the same thing. It's one technique which is used in many places. It's a universal technique. So don't worry about the people out there who have, 5 million techniques. Beware the person who is very good at using one technique. Because he's going to be the one who's going to take your job. And I tell you, in the art world, there is fierce, fierce competition. In fact, I think now I can actually get rid of some of those hairline bits. I'm just looking at this side and seeing that it's inconsistent, so I'm just looking at how much of the face is exposed, not satisfied with it, going in there to fix it. I don't like this shape, because the thing about hair is that hair must frame the face. It either frames it or it covers it up, but either way, you're still making a frame. And so all that hard work has to go. It is the way of the designer. It's the life of a designer that you have to remove things that are making the design bad. You have to delete things, make room for what's right. And you realize that when you're working with a shape cutting tool like this, it's actually really fast. It does not take long, so there is no excuse. It only takes long if you're incompetent. If you don't have, if you don't have the right skills to draw things, it takes a long time if you are hesitant. In fact, you know what? Maybe the pink is not working in the front. I'll just keep it a simple black and then let the eye fill in that detail. Look at that. See? Big difference. Everything just fell into place. So we keep the pink on the outside because it works better as a framing device. I'll go back to that back hair layer. And, it's just... My tutorials are troublesome in that sometimes we do go down the wrong path. I'm sorry that it can't be all wonderful and here's how I do it, now you do it, and I'm all awesome and stuff. And it's not like that at all when you are a designer. If you're a designer, you will be barking up the wrong tree from time to time. It's just something you have to deal with. The way of life. Anyway, that took, a good, or a bad 15 minutes to remedy, to find out that, hey, you know what? But it's only time, The worst thing you can do is try and rush through something and just say, it looks good enough and whatever, and I'm not going to invest the time in it. And then you come out with a drawing that looks like crap and the client doesn't want it and you have to do it all over again. So... it's called an investment of time. You invest your time. Just one of those things that is a way of life. Okay. So anyway, I know I am kind of tired of doing this little pokey stuff, but you know what? On the bright side, I am liking it more and more. And that's what really counts. If you like the design, like truly like it, and it's not like you've simply gotten used to a bad design, then fine. Then it's good. It's a good thing. I'm just, looking around. I'm looking at it, zoomed out and thinking, what can I do? How can I make this more layered? I'm just basically throwing in more layers after I got rid of all those layers in the middle. But it's like I can put in lots of layers in the back, but I'm seeing similar shapes. So I'm gonna, make one of them look different. And we're out of time. We got another 30 seconds left in the recording. So I'm gonna try and just finish up what I got here. We will go on to the next piece of clothing soon enough. So if I look at this shape, it fits all the way through the other side. Anyway, yeah, let's stop this recording and continue on